If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to race day for the FINA World Championship, sponsored by Speedo. I'm your host, Tiffany Elias. Today's session was packed with 9 different events, and can I say some show-stealing semifinals. Let's bring in Jeff Commings live from Barcelona to recap today's swimming. Jeff, after an anticlimactic session yesterday, today's swimming was awesome. Could you feel a difference in the atmosphere?
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, we were saying during that 1500 by Katie Ledecky, the crowd was just kind of like, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, they were just, they really pulled Rikke Moller Pedersen to that 2:19.11 because it was loud. It was really loud. Every single person in this arena wanted to see that happen. Maybe not the Americans, but everybody else was just thrilled to see her break Rebecca Soni's record. And then when Yulia Efimova went 2:19 in the second semifinal, they appreciated that one just as much because they knew. I think the people in this arena knew how hard it is to get under 2:20 because only one person's done it.
Yeah, that 200 breaststroke semifinal was unreal. Let's talk about that in a little bit. The night kicked off with one of the more impressive semifinal heats of the meet so far, the women's 100 freestyle. Sarah Joystrom will be the top seed going into tomorrow, 52.87. And to put that into perspective, that's faster than what Ranomi Kromowidjojo's gold medal winning time in London. Behind her, Kate Campbell, Kromowidjojo, Missy Franklin and Shannon Vreeland will also be in the top 8. Now, Jeff, there's no room for error when trying to make it back in these sprint events, but were you expecting a sub-53 swim from anyone in the semis?
Yeah, because there's no room for error, and everybody could not really play it safe. I thought Missy was playing it just a little bit safe. She went slower than she did this morning by a couple tenths. I thought she was going to continue to get faster, but she had that relay tonight, and so did Shannon. Shannon really had to push the pace tonight because you know, she doesn't have that. She doesn't have the experience to know really how fast she needs to go. So it was not surprising. I did expect maybe a couple of people. I thought Kate Campbell was going to go 52 something. So you know, it's going to be Kate Campbell's race. I mean, we know how fast she went in that relay. Everybody knows how fast she went in that relay. So it's not that they're, you know, ceding the gold medal to her, but they know that she's going to be really fighting for it tomorrow.
So you're favoring Kate Campbell over Missy Franklin?
Oh yeah, you know, Missy has yet to break 53, and if she does it tomorrow, that'll be great. But you know, Kate went 52.3 in the relay, and Missy's only gone 53.3. That's a mile in 100. That's a long gap to break though.
She's capable of it, but we'll see if she does it tomorrow. All right, well, the first final of the night, the men's 200 IM. Now, Jeff, this was an event we were all looking forward to see what will Ryan Lochte do, pun intended. But, well, he went for it and just missed his world record by less than a second and only a tenth off of what he went in London, 154.9. Kazuki Ujino about a second and a half behind him. Jeff, was the crowd satisfied with this swim from Lochte?
Oh, yeah, they love Ryan Lochte here. He walked out, and you thought he was from Spain. I mean, they really are behind him. And, you know, they were really cheering for him. He was about 3 tenths off world record pace at the 150 after breaststroke, and they were really cheering for him. They thought, oh, he's 3 tenths off, maybe we can pull him in to get the world record. And I don't, you know, part of me wonders if he shut it down, and I didn't see that. I just think maybe he just, you know, he didn't have Michael Phelps next to him to get him to the extra gear to go 154 low, and I think that's something Ryan's going to have to get used to for the next 3 years. Nobody's going to be able to go 154 with him. Kosuke Agino might get close, but you know, he's just going to have to learn how to swim on his own, unless, you know, Michael Phelps watched it and said, you know, I think I need to get back and give Ryan a race.
Yeah, that would be fun for us fans, but I agree. I don't think he backed off of that. He did come back and have the 200 backstroke a little bit later, but I think he knew that was his opportunity. If he was going to break any world record, it was going to be that one.
Yeah.
All right, well, on to the women's semifinal 200 breaststroke. The ladies are on fire, and it was an impressive swim, 2:21 by Michael Lawrence in prelims. But then to come back and top that in the semifinals, Rikke Moller Pedersen, who was 4th in London, 2:19.1, and Yulia Efimova right behind her, 2:19.8. Now, Jeff, I can't imagine how that race felt to watch it live.
It was amazing. Rikke was under world record pace the entire way, and that was amazing to me. I did not think that she was going to be able to hold on, because actually she got further and further under record pace. She was a second under Sony's pace at the 150, and obviously she fell off a little bit at the end because she was only 5/10 under, or 4/10 under. So she's got a little bit of work to do if she wants to get that last 50 working. But interesting enough, Tiffany, you may not know this. A lot of people may not. I know this. Rebecca Sony's here in Barcelona. She was here tonight to watch that 200 breaststroke. So, I think maybe she's thinking it's time for me to get back to work if I want to win a gold medal in Rio, if I want to win at the World Championships in 2015, because these girls know what they have to do. And it's amazing that, nobody could touch Rebecca Sony when she was swimming, and now they're surpassing her when she's taking a break.
Yeah, Jeff, I knew Sony was there, and I urge you to try to meet with her, talk with her, get her reaction, because we would love to hear her feedback on watching that swim.
Yeah, I definitely plan to.
All right, well, moving on to one of the most anticipated races, the men's 100 freestyle. James Magnuson back on top, 47.7, but Jimmy Fegan gets his hand on the wall right in front of Nathan Adrian. Jeff, your reactions to this event?
Well, I was so busy looking at Nathan and James Magnuson that I was not looking at the other James, Jimmy Fegan. Just a phenomenal swim for him. Under 48 seconds is amazing for him. I thought maybe one of these days before Rio he would get under 48. I didn't think it would happen today, especially after what he did on the relay, 48.3. But he was probably one of the few people in that 100 free to be able to shake off what they did in the relay, because James didn't do well in that relay. Nathan didn't do well in that relay, and they both only barely went faster than they went in the relay. So props to Jimmy. He broke through in a big way.
Yeah, that was a great swim for him. It kind of was like Michael McBroom yesterday, got silver, but it was an unbelievable event for him. So those two kind of similar in those races.
Yeah, absolutely. I think and they're both from Texas. No bias for me, but both from Texas.
Yeah, good Texas women. All right, well, the ladies 200 fly final. This race we said yesterday is really considered wide open, but world record holder Lou Ziga with a 2:04.5. Maria Belmonte Garcia and Katinka Hoshu round out the top three. Jeff, this was a pretty solid race for the women when we've kind of been doubting it lately.
Yeah, and everybody here was probably thinking it was going to be Maria Belmonte Garcia, because Lou Ziga likes to take it out hard, and that's sort of been her style forever, even from 2008 to now. But she has never been able to hold on to the lead. She's always lost that lead. Going back ever since the Olympics, she has never been able to hold on to that lead. She's dived so hard, and this time she didn't. It was just shocking to me, because I thought for sure that it was going to be Maria Belmonte Garcia, because she was just right there at the 150, and Lou usually is trying to get her arms out of the water the last 15 meters, but she held on. I don't know what it was. She probably knew that those cheers meant that Maria was right there, and that kind of gave her a little bit of a boost to get to the wall.
Well, the women's 200 butterfly is really going to need a huge breakthrough if we're going to see anybody come close to Lou Ziga's 200 fly world record. That 2:01 just seems untouchable right now.
Well, it's like the 200 IM. It's actually the 200 IM, the 200 fly, and before this week, the 100 breast were the only world records, suit records that everybody thought would last for many, many, many years, like a decade. So that tradition looks like it's going to hold up. I mean, they've got 3-4 seconds to go, and that's a long way to go at the top of this level in a 200. But, as we saw from Rikke Moller Pedersen, you can just be chipping away at it, and all of a sudden you'll get it.
Yeah, it's like we've seen with the 200 breaststroke. I think they'll get there. It's just a matter of how soon. All right, well, let's move on to the men's 200 breaststroke semifinal. No world records here, but a great swim from the London gold medalist Danielle Goethe, who will take the middle lane tomorrow, 2:08.5. Kevin Cordes with the painful 9th place to just miss out on the final. Jeff, walk us through this 200 breaststroke.
Well, it was funny, Tiffany. I thought that maybe the guys were going to respond the way the women did in their 200 breast semifinal, because it was going to be this is a wide open race, and I thought they would have to respond by saying, okay, I need to make a statement. It's going to be tough to get into the final. So I'm just going to put it all out there. And they didn't. I mean, 208 is kind of soft for Daniel Garrett and all these other guys. So I don't know. I really had believed before the meet started that the world record was going to fall, and now I'm not 100% certain because some of these guys look like they're really putting forth a good effort. So, maybe in the final when it all gets out there and we got 8 guys all together, it will maybe things will change. I don't know.
Yeah, once again, the men need it, and no Team USA will be in this event. I think this will be our first final that we won't have any USA. Is that correct?
You're absolutely right, and I guess it's not too shocking. Since Brandon Hansen's retirement, we've been trying to find a solid 200 breaststroker. Kevin Cordes will be there. He'll get there. He's just still finding his stroke in the long course pool. It's interesting. He says he's a long course swimmer, but yet he's had this amazing breakthrough in the short course. I kind of think maybe having a big taper at the Nationals and then having another one a month later just didn't work out for him. So I think they're going to, he and Eric Hansen and then everybody else there, Arizona, they're going to go back and kind of refigure how he can be better for 2014.
Right. Well, up next was the women's 50 backstroke final, and China goes 1-2 in the sprint with Zhao Jing and Fu Yanhui. Rachel Bootsma 7th. Now, Jeff, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in these 50 strokes, but would you say it played out about right?
Well, I thought Fu Yanhui was going to win, but she kind of was. She didn't swim a straight line. She was swimming a little bit crooked, and so, in a 50, that makes all the difference. In a 100, if you kind of get a little bit crooked, you kind of fix it in time. But in a 50, if you're swimming crooked, that's 51 meters, and in a race that's decided by hundreds, that means a lot, and that's what happened. Zhao Jing got her hand on the wall first, but I expected a Chinese one too. Aya Terakawa has been there so many times. She still has not won a world championship gold medal, and she's a fighter. She's 29, and I think she's going to be around for Rio. So she's got another chance in 2015.
All right. Well, nonetheless, those 50s are fun ones to watch. All right, well, last individual event of the day was the men's 200 backstroke semifinal. USA men are going to lead the top 8 and hopefully capture another 1-2 finish like their teammates did in the 100 backstroke. But Tyler Clary and Ryan Lochte both clocked a 155. Now, Jeff, Ryan will be fresh going into the 200 backstroke tomorrow, unlike today where he had the 200 IM first. How do you predict this Clary-Lochte matchup's going to go down tomorrow?
It's going to go down like it did in London. It's going to be a dogfight. I don't think they have to worry about Ryusuke Irie. He didn't look sharp in the 100. He actually didn't look very strong in his 200 back semifinal, and I don't think it was because he was holding back. I just think he's not having a great meet. A lot of these Japanese Olympians aren't doing very well. Kosuke Agino is probably the only one that's doing so. Terakawa is also doing well. So just a few of them, but most of them aren't doing as well as they could have been. And I don't know if it's just they were treated like rock stars after the Olympics, and that the Olympics took a toll on them as well. We talked about that with the Americans. So I think Tyler Clary and Ryan Lochte pretty much have this locked up between them. It's just a matter of who wants it more. I think Tyler would love to have a world championship to go along with his Olympic gold medal.
I agree, and a little pick-me-up from his earlier events where he wasn't too happy with them.
Right.
All right, well, the final event of the night was the women's 4x200 freestyle relay. Team USA beats Australia by over 2 seconds thanks to Missy Franklin's anchor leg. Her 154.2 was by far the fastest split of anyone in the field. All right, Jeff, with 5 days done, do you know how the teams are stacking up at this point?
I think the Australian men and the Japanese men are the ones that are not performing the way I thought they would. And that's just because they swam so well at their world trials. Now, it can be argued that, they had so much time in between world trials and world championships that they just kind of got soft, lost their tapers. But I think it's also that the Japanese tend to like to rest a lot after world trials, and James Magnuson went 47.5 twice, but he could only go 47.7 here. So, and I think that the Australian men, I'm not sure what happened to most of them. Cameron McAvoy had a great 100 free, but most of them are just not performing up to standards, and they're probably all wondering why. But other than that, I think it's shaken out to be pretty much the way it usually happens in the year after the Olympics. We see some new stars come up, like Rikke Moller Pedersen, and we see some others that were kind of disappointed by their Olympics try to use this year to gain momentum for Rio.
All right, well, 3 more days to go. Day 6 will include the women's final, 100 freestyle and 200 breaststroke, and the semifinals for the 200 backstroke and 50 fly. The men will face the 200 backstroke, 200 breaststroke, and 4x200 freestyle relay finals, and the semis for the 50 free and 100 fly. All right, Jeff, what's your big prediction for tomorrow?
I would love to see. I don't know. I'm really excited about that men's 200 backstroke, but I'm also just excited about this men's 50 freestyle. I'm just curious to see what Cesar Cielo is going to do after that 50 fly. I think he's got to be just so thrilled about that I think he's going to take that to a win. And Anthony Irvin has been sitting around for 5 days, and what is that going to do for him? Has he been more and more motivated after a great relay split, or is it kind of softened him, I guess, in lack of a better word? And you don't need that for a 50, but it's Anthony. He's been waiting for this day, and I think he'll be ready. So I'm curious to see how he's going to do. And Vlad Morozov went out fast in the 50 split of the 100, 21.9. So that kind of tells me he's going to have a good 50 as well.
Yeah, well, a lot of events to look forward to. Jeff, thanks for your feedback and analysis. We'll see you tomorrow after day 6.
All right, thanks, Tiff.
All right, that's it for race day. Make sure to go to our event landing page on swimmingworld.tv. There you can find results, analysis, interviews, live commentary, and much more. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. I'm Tiffany Elias, and we'll see you tomorrow.